something I just actually remembered is that I may actually be able to go out and find a couple of summer chanterelles, the little golden summer chanterelles. They're honestly the most delicious ones. So on today's adventure, I'm going to set out to go out and find some of the biggest trees along the Olympic Peninsula, as well as areas that look like might have some microclimates, because those areas that still are able to summon microclimates, which isn't many areas out here in the Olympic Peninsula anymore. The more locals and natives that I talk to along my adventures along the Olympic coast here in Washington, the more I'm starting to realize that the peaks of the hillsides that have been being logged over the last 10 years may be leading to the lack of the largest trees on the highest peaks are what summon the microclimates for the lowlands off of the ocean. And it's been getting drier and drier with areas that used to have grass that was green all the way through the season. Now the grass is drying up. The bigleaf maple's leaves are shrinking, and it's not that they're shrinking, they just each year they go deeper and deeper into a drought, and there's no very large trees to summon fog drip from the microclimates. It leads to the other trees in the surrounding areas dying, especially as they log 60 acres every 30 acres. So we're gonna go out and explore today. One thing that's crazy about these old primitive roads or old logger roads, you might get one or two people up here a day. And that's why I like coming up here, is because not many people come up here to experience the trees. They're just kind of exploring. And really my main goal when I set out on a trip or a journey is I'm gonna go hug some trees and go just spend time with the trees, because they might not, there's forests I used to go visit that aren't there anymore because they got cut down, and it's just very sad. But that's why I try to come out here and experience as much time as I can with these trees while they're still here, because like I say, there could be a chance that one of the years I come out to see the forest I have been coming to for many, many years, as long as I could drive, it's not there anymore. It's devastating. I wonder how the wildlife feel. It's kind of like, what if you came home, or you were at home, and the demo man just came and started knocking the house down saying, you gotta go. I'm gonna be taking you guys down some real primitive roads today and over the trip, just to mostly show you guys some of the largest trees that I've ever seen. Some of them are actual historical monuments where people come from all over the world to the Pacific Washington coasts just to see some of our trees, because they are literally so massive. It's very unfortunate, because what's happening now is there's landowners that have owned land out here in the Olympic Peninsula for generations upon generations, and now they're seeing the value of the property, and then on paper the timber value on the property is a lot higher than what you actually get after paying for all the stuff to get the logging done, roads being put in, drainage, culverts and ditches. It's just, I don't know, it seems like as we've steered into machinery logging, although we can cut down and produce a lot more timber, it's having more of a detrimental impact on the environment. See the size of the spruce tree. Try to go sneak up on some salmon down here. There might be a couple steelhead sitting in the creek. If we're lucky, we'll be able to get real close to them. I'm gonna try to be really quiet. They can see me, so they're going nuts over here. Big kings. They're like glowing. Like almost glow in the water. So cool. There's about 50 of them tucked over along the edge over there. They're not used to having a human sitting here in their creek, so they're getting a little spooked trying to swim up the creek. But it's good to see these summer Chinooks, and it just goes to show how easily spooked they get by humans. I tried to sneak down here real quiet, but look at these trees. It's just absolutely magnificent. Super cool trees. It's one of my favorite places to come. I come here at least once every summer. Come out here, check out how the stream is doing, how the river's doing. Look at this spruce tree. Massive. Really big trees out here. Cool little maple tree grove here, going down towards the Hoh National Rainforest, and you can see it's just absolutely beautiful out here. Alders, maples, spruce trees, cedars, fir trees, you name it, they're out here. And it is so beautiful. Massive spruce tree. This is one of the spots right outside the Olympic National Park boundary that's been recently logged. It's just so unfortunate because they logged the highest slopes and the steepest hills, and it stops the trees from being able to summon microclimates, is what I believe. And I mean, it's just unfortunate. Washington's such a beautiful place. We've got these massive spruce trees. Massive. And here's an old maple and spruce tree grove. Besides the California redwoods, some of our spruce trees that are out here along the Olympic Peninsula and the cedar trees too, are some of the largest trees along the coast, the Pacific coast, besides redwoods. There's also some very large trees over in Oregon and California. So I mean, over the course of the years, because I love traveling and going and looking at trees, so if I end up, you know, people like watching me going and traveling and documenting large trees, I'll start posting videos about that. It's pretty fun, really. It's a good pastime. Good way to stay out, connected with nature. So if people can't do it, they can watch videos about doing it. It's an old cedar grove back in here. So beautiful to see a spruce and cedar tree grove because there's not too many left out here. I'm gonna be completely honest, this is the most water I've seen in the Hoh River downstream in a lot of years. I've come down this road every summer for the last probably 6 to 7 years, and it used to be not flowing right there at the corner. But it looks like it's a nice healthy flowing stream again, which is really good for the baby salmon and the other wildlife. I just hope that all the logging they're doing upriver doesn't have a detrimental effect on wildlife and the salmon population, because it sure seems like it is. So made it down here to Oil City Road National Park. And we're gonna go and look at some of these massive spruce trees. And it looks like it's pretty moist out here, so I might even run into a couple summer golden chanterelles if I'm lucky. But look at this massive spruce tree right here. Look at that hemlock tree right there. It's got a fork of stems. There's this huge spruce tree. It's not the biggest, but it's pretty big. Probably 9.5 feet in diameter at the base. Go walk down this nature trail. I've found summer chanterelles out here around this time of year, so I might just get a little lucky. And I really just wanted to share this adventure with you guys, especially for anyone who isn't from Washington State. And if you are from Washington State, get out here into the Olympic Peninsula, because it is just breathtaking. I mean, Washington State has some of the most gorgeous land out here, and it's devastating. They're logging everything they can, but what's left of the national parks is magnificent. So if you are ever in the area or going down the Washington State coast, make sure to stop and take in as many trees as you can, and just try to see as many trees as you can. Otherwise, I'll be out here doing it for you guys. So look what we found here. Our first summer golden chanterelle, which is a very good sign, because that means where you find one, you start to find a ton. And it looks like they're just starting to pop up. It's another thing about these old forests is the symbiotic relationship that they've taken all these years to create with mycelium and just everything that works together in an ecosystem that keeps things thriving, like wildlife and everything. But this spruce tree is so cool. Its roots are like out of the ground, and you can see air, light, and space down through the base there. It's so cool. And this is only one spot. Still got a lot more places to go and explore. Wonder how much they want for the $10. All right, $10 for some honey. I'll take it. I think the coolest thing is it's their last jar. So stick the $10 in there and got myself some fresh wild honey from the Hoh River. Just gonna do a little taste test of the honey. I probably eat about a gallon of honey every 2 months, I'm not gonna lie. And this is looking amazing. So I'm gonna give it a little taste test real quick. Oh my God. Wow. I don't know what that flower is that they're getting those bees to pollinate, but that's probably the tastiest honey I've had in a long time. Thank you. This next spot that I'm stopping at is the Hoh Oxbow Campground, and in my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful spots of the Hoh River you can drive to. It's just so magnificent, so stick around. I'm gonna show it to you guys here in a second. Got us a bumpy road coming in here. Nothing the Nissan Frontier can't handle. See how the crystal blue turquoise river is looking today. It's so cool, kind of. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who I'll stop and talk to anyone and everyone who I run into. And I get to run into some very cool people. Some are from Washington, some aren't. And it's just one of those things that really shows you what stops us from connecting with people is not getting out into nature or getting outside and trying to just explore. Because when you're exploring, there's other people exploring, and it makes you connect whether you want to or not. You just, boom, step in there and connect with people. But anyhow, this has got to be one of the most beautiful spots on the Hoh River that you can drive to. And just take a look at this. I mean, look at how turquoise, like crystal clear blue that water is. It's like glacial water. This is the healthiest I've seen this Hoh River in quite a few summers. I want to be completely honest. I'm not sure if it has to do with the fact that the logging that they've done upriver is mostly done for, you know, they've gotten a lot of the timber that they can get to. So they're kind of starting to log other mountain peaks and hillsides that aren't necessarily right along rivers. So that's good. And one of the main things I've noticed down here along the Olympic Peninsula through my whole trips, all the way from Mount Rainier down to the Cascades, all the way up through Nia Bay and along the coast down to the Hood Canal through Port Angeles and Sequim, it's just the saddest thing to see a lot of the big leaf maple trees not having the big leaves anymore because they're stressed out. All their trees along the rivers are always very massive because I think they get a lot of nutrients from the salmon that end up spawning and dying along the riverbanks. It creates very lush soil and very good growing conditions for a lot of the native trees. So you'll see some of the trees that are along rivers be some of the biggest trees you've ever seen just because of that fact right there. And down here at the Hoh River, we actually have the Acer circinatum, which is these vine maples. And they grow native to Washington. They're beautiful trees, especially in the fall. So next on the list of trees is going to be a pretty popular tree that a lot of people travel the coast to go and look at, and it's called the Duncan Cedar tree. It's also got another name that I can't think of right now, but I'll look it up and remind you guys of what the name is once I get there. So this tree is estimated to be, I think, 600 to 700 years old, and it's one of the most largest found cedar trees in Washington state. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty breathtaking. It's pretty massive. It just is a perfect example of how living organisms can continue thriving even when they go through storms and damage and have major structural integrity problems. This is yet another area that's been recently logged within the last 4 or 5 years. And I tell you, I can't even drive 5-6 miles out here anymore without running into land that has just been cut, and it's just sad. And even like some of the people who, you know, I'm pulling off to the side for, I always smile, nod, and wave, and there's just not really much friendliness when you're on the road. So that's why whenever I get out off of the road and I start seeing people, I try to socialize with every single one of them, because when you start talking to people and you just express yourself to them, it could change their perspective, it could change their day. You could be talking to someone who's having a terrible day, and maybe you just go and you be yourself to them, and next thing you know, they're like, you know what, I need to get out and be myself more. Or you give them a change of perspective. You give them a reason to realize why they were where they were at that moment and why you guys met. Because it's a beautiful thing. I love going around and meeting people all over the place. Like I could travel the world, honestly, and just go meet people left and right. I would love to do that. But gotta make a living somehow. Look at that thing. It is massive. State of Washington, Department of Natural Resources, the Duncan Cedar. World's largest western red cedar, Thuya plicata. Height, 170 feet tall. Diameter, 19.4 feet. Age, 700 years. Thing is massive. It's absolutely so cool. And the fact that it still has a little bit of life up at the top is absolutely extraordinary. It's the back side of the tree. It's huge. You can see the little bit of green growth right up there. It's wild. Yeah, so that's all spots where they did like selective logging. And over here you can see they haven't really cut nothing and how thick it is. And the reason why they don't do too much selective logging, like selective clearing in Washington state, is because we're in a state where it's almost like where there's bare dirt, it's begging for life. My grandpa taught me that. Shout out Pops. Shout out Pops. He taught me so many things that other people never really noticed, and so many things that other people never really talked about with the trees. So that's what kept me learning a ton about the trees continually, is the fact that, see there, we just had a guy from California. He didn't even slow down. He just mugged me. Like, I'm pulling over, slowing down, and I mean, I'm multitasking. I'm driving a stick shift, I'm recording a video, and I'm still got more courtesy than some of these people that are driving down this road. It's ridiculous. And here we have a couple good guard dogs guarding the truck. It's like my dog when I leave her in the truck. She just guards it. doing her job. This tree is a lot more alive than the Duncan Cedar tree is, but it's not nearly as large. It's still very big and it has a lot of character to it. So it's a really cool tree to come out and see and a cool tree to come out and experience. I'm pretty sure down the trail there's going to be a tree that's actually been struck by lightning. I'm not entirely sure, so. How are you guys today?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Make sure you go all the way around.
Oh, yeah, this is a trail I've looked at a lot of times. Yeah, you guys have a great day. A lot of cool people out here traveling the land and just coming out to see these trees, and they are just something so magnificent. I mean, look at the roots. The roots are just absolutely sweet. And this is part of the tree that split off over the years, but it continues to grow, and it even has a couple fir trees that are growing out of the side of it and a hemlock growing out of the side of it. And it's just beautiful, magnificent. Let me know what you guys think of these huge, massive cedar trees. It looks to me like that stem there has kind of died off, you know, over here, but this stem right here actually still has quite a bit of growth up there, still growing, so it still lives. It's got just enough little bit of bark, a bark sliver, to keep it alive. I do enjoy coming and looking at this tree a lot more than I enjoy the Duncan cedar tree. I'm not sure why, but this one just has a different kind of energy to it that you just don't get to feel unless you come out here and experience it. And the coolest part is that this is a whole cedar grove, so when you come out here, you can actually just come out and explore and get to see how magnificent some of these trees are that have been living for many, many years. And most of them are actually still living. It's just that that one's so big. It's been through so many storms and thunder and lightning and all that, starts dying. So can't help but find myself stopping and talking to every person that I see. But look at this cedar tree. This one is something special. It's just so cool. It really just showcases the true size and magnificence of this tree. So I believe up here is going to be a cedar tree that got struck by lightning, and the whole top of it's dead. I believe it split the damn tree in half is what ends up happening. So right here, and how cracked and split and burnt. This had absolutely exploded from the pressure of the heat and the sap and all that. So it's insane. I think it would be really cool to get a drone. It's what I'm saving up for now, is a drone. Probably take me a while to save for it, and it's going to be my goal for next summer, is to have a drone to be able to record a lot of the areas that have been being logged up on the peaks and the hillsides. Spots that, you know, I can't really get to get good pictures of, but if I had a drone, getting up into the aerial view would probably be the best way to get the best pictures. So that's going to be something I invest in the future. God, my stomach is growling. I guess I'm pretty hungry. I've been out looking at trees all day, and I may even get to a point, because I believe it's almost 3 p.m. now. I'm going to get to the point where it's too late for me to go and look at the Lake Quinault trees. So I'll probably end up doing that some other time down the road. I'd say that's probably a couple of the biggest hemlocks I've ever seen too. These hemlocks are pushing a couple hundred you know, probably at least 150 feet tall. Even just being able to fly up a tree, like the side of a tree, to get like the aerial perspective of it, that's something I've been wanting to do, be able to do for so long. Because I don't climb trees. You will not find your boy climbing up a tree. But if I could fly up there, get some pictures, heck yeah, you know I'm doing that. One of the coolest things is all these living roots from the fir trees that are growing up there, or I believe they're hemlocks, I want to say. They've absolutely just wrapped themselves around the cedar trunk, and they're just growing down and spiraling down and wrapping down, and then finally they touch the dirt. And I guess they have enough contact with the dirt to where they're getting enough nutrients and water, so that's keeping them alive. And I would say that, yeah, like right here, you've got this hemlock, and the hemlock is growing like its main taproot down here into the ground, and then a couple of its other main taproots are extended above the surface of the ground, and the tree's thriving. So it's just an example of some of the stuff that these trees are able to do naturally. It's purely magnificent. Let's get to the point now where I guess I've just been enjoying looking at trees so much. I was planning on getting home around the time that it is now. It's almost 3 p.m. I done left the North Point where I was at over there on the coast, which is about an hour and 35 minutes away from where I'm at. I left there at no later than 10 a.m. So I've been looking at trees since 10 a.m. Now it's 3 p.m. and I just looked at how far away I am from home. I've got a 3-hour drive, so I think I'm only gonna make one more stop and just gonna have to come out here and make another day trip out of finding big trees for you guys. If you enjoy this video, I'll go make another one. Because I love this stuff. I love coming out and looking at trees and just spending my life taking it all in, moment by moment, second by second. These trees just have a different energy about them than what you see in your standard spots. So next on the list really isn't that far from, I mean, it's just right across the street. We're gonna go look at the Tree of Life on Kalaloch Beach, see how its roots are doing. It's been falling into its crevice for the last several years from tons of erosion. So let's go see how eroded it is. I've gone out and seen this tree every year for the last 7 or 8 years, and it still amazes me, still fascinates me, just like the big cedar right there. That one is probably my favorite tree I like to come and see. So now I'm at the Tree of Life. I can go down onto the beach and see what this tree is looking like. I haven't been down here since last year in August, or I want to say I came through in July. Usually when I go to where I go this time of year, I come back the long way home, the scenic route, to do this exact thing. Look at all the trees and admire them. And this is the very first time I ever was able to bring you guys onto camera to see it. So looks like they have some cones up. Part of the trail washed out from some erosion, so that's not good. Still walkable though. How's it going?
Good, how about you?
Good. It's a beautiful day.
Oh yeah.
Have a great day. Sweet, I got my sunglasses. I almost thought I forgot my sunglasses. I was gonna be hating life, but I'm gonna go down here and find me the Tree of Life real quick. See if these people want me to take their picture for them. You guys want me to take your picture? Sweet.
Were we fishing?
Huh?
We were fishing too?
Yeah, right? The base of the roots were about right there, but it's sunken down into here. So over the course of time, the locals have wondered if it's gonna die, but I don't think that it's gonna die because the roots are still strongly rooted and they have good contact with the soil still, so it makes it to where it can still get enough water and nutrients. And that's gonna keep the tree living for years, many, many years. And I mean, the tree is massive, it's very old. I wanna say it's pushing easily 100 years old, that spruce tree. So with a tree that's that old and it's been slowly deteriorating from erosion, I mean, yeah, sure, although it's, you know, falling down into the crevice, it still has enough energy to send new roots out to re-support itself. So it'll just be a tree that lives in between two, like pretty much two hills. You know, you've got a hill here and a hill here. It used to grow up on top of the hills. Now it's fallen down. It won't kill the tree though. It's gonna live for many, many years. The stairs are a little treacherous. They're kind of cattywampus falling down, but you just got to be real careful coming down here, and make sure you're not wearing Crocs like me. I travel everywhere in Croc. The thing is it's just so beautiful up here, and not a lot of people have ever experienced it. So I just want to share a lot of areas that, you know, some people do go to, and then other areas that not a lot of people, if anybody's ever seen before, because the trees that people have never seen are some of the ones that carry the biggest amounts of energy, because they've been just unharmed and untouched by humanity for so long. They're so far away from civilization. But the Nissan Frontier is getting real close to 300,000 miles, and this truck has taken me to see a lot of trees. And I just want to say thanks to the truck, because it's been a great solid truck, and thanks for me having the ability to work on it and learn how to be my own mechanic. Thanks to YouTube. YouTube's a great tool. Use it. Yeah, so I'm out here now, and I'm just gonna be going ahead and looking at some of these trees. I mean, they're not that old. I want to say some of these fir trees and spruces are pushing, some of them maybe 80 years old. That's a pretty big fir tree right there. How can you tell the difference between a fir tree and a spruce? Well, look at the bark on this tree right here, and then also the root flare isn't like real wide. It's kind of just like straight up and down all the way from the base. It's like the same, there's no like wide taper. Like a spruce tree is gonna have, like at the base of these spruce trees, real wide taper. And then they also have bark that grows like kind of rough and scrubby, and a lot of the times the lines will be going horizontal instead of vertical, whereas the fir trees have a lot of vertical bark growing, which also too, the hemlocks have vertical bark too, so it's really easy to mix up a hemlock and a fir tree. Yeah, so this is one of the spots where there's a bunch of old spruce trees. Not the hugest, oldest spruce trees, but it's, you know, it's a nice, healthy forest that I like to come and see and enjoy as long as it's here. Because as I was saying earlier, there could be a time in history where you go back to the forests you've always been going to and looking at, and they're not there anymore. So it's very important to come out here and enjoy the things that are here while they're here, because you never know when they'll disappear. It's this spot right here where in the past I've found tons of summer chanterelles, but it's hard to, as I'm talking about it, it's hard to find them because they're just little tiny little babies like that. Look at that. Absolutely magnificent and tasty. These things are so tasty. A nice little healthy portion of the golden summer chanterelles. Honestly, it's pretty surprising for me to find them this early in July, and I'll definitely be back in the next 2 weeks.